What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this channel that's all about architecture, engineering and construction, and where we also are all about bettering the African narrative. Okay, so it's been a long time. First of all, happy new year to you all. Merry Christmas. Whatever has happened in between there, happy all that. Okay, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. That's all about architecture, engineering, construction, entrepreneurship, and all have you. Okay, and also if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for following. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for the support and each and everything. Okay, so without wasting a lot of time on all that, I want us to get right to the point. Those of you who've been following us through this whole journey, remember, for the projects that we are doing, we just got only one project that we decided to document for all you guys, to document the whole process of constructing this tiny 3-bedroom house, and also share with you the different costs that we incur in building this house. Okay, so if you've been following through this journey, we are so far at episode 7, and today this is actually episode 8. Long coming, really. It's taken quite some time. We've been busy all throughout the year, but we promise to be a bit more consistent as time goes by. Okay, so those of you who have actually been following the journey, I believe you've been enjoying the journey. I know that a lot of you actually, you are inboxing me, telling me what's up, when is episode 8 coming up. Here is episode 8. Okay, now remember, in the previous episode we actually stopped on the phase of roofing. We just roofed the house and we hadn't done any plastering. So ever since then, quite a lot of things have happened. You know, when we are doing this finishing part of the house, there are a lot of things that actually have to happen concurrently. Like, you can't leave one thing behind and then do the other. Okay, so a lot has happened. We've done some preliminary plumbing works. Okay, at least, of course, you know, you want to plaster a house without putting in some parts of the pipes that are going to bring water into the bathrooms, are going to bring in water into the kitchens, and also some drain pipes for the kitchens. Okay, so we've done that. We've done windows, we've done closing of windows, we've also done doors, we've done the door frames, the timber door frames inside the house, we've done the plastering as well. Also, we have done some bit of waterproofing. Okay, this is not really common practice. Some people don't really do anything about their bathrooms, so they just literally just plaster bathrooms and things like that. And also remember, since we actually used a flat roof, and also we decided to have a tank stand at the top of the roof, there are certain parts of the roof that have to be waterproofed. Okay, the part where the columns actually pop out of the roof, we need to waterproof those parts. So we are done with all the waterproofing and everything is actually intact. So I just wanted to share with you this whole journey. You might be seeing the videos running on the screen of the process from at least before up to now, of how the building has been evolving over time. Okay, and so I wanted to share with you a quick walkthrough through the costs that we've actually incurred in this phase specifically. We have, first on our list, we have electrical installations. Okay, now I have not detailed those, I have not put those in detail, but we had a lot of conduits. We had the 25mm conduits, we had 32mm conduits. We also had to buy 2 consumer units. Okay, so all that in total brought us to about 2.4 million. Of course, this includes the different MKs. Okay, the MKs means those small things that you see in the video. Okay, where the sockets are actually going to sit, and also where the switches are actually going to sit. We also needed couplers to join the pipes together. Then we also needed different bends and things like that. So all those in total, they brought us to 2.4 million. Then also we did phase 1 plumbing, like I explained. Phase 1 plumbing also took about 2 million. Now it's really hard to break this down because already there are some pipes that are actually still on site that are going to be used for the phase 2 of the plumbing works. So some pipes were bought and they had to be cut. But the general cost of the phase 1 of plumbing is actually 2 million. I'm going to break them down for you so you can see them on the screen for the things that we've been buying along the way. Then cement, man, it's like cement costs $1 billion. Anyway, anyone who has done finishing before, those who are engineers can testify. Finishing really takes a lot of cement. There is a lot of plastering works that goes on. Now you realize that our house also has a lot of copings. Of course, not really very many, but it has a lot of copings. Those little cornices and copings around. You see there, the ratio of cement to sand that we use is actually rich in cement. Okay, so anyway, all that in total, we've used 143 bags for this phase. Then we also had to buy lime. When you're plastering the inside, you can see how smooth the walls are, so we had to apply lime. so that we have smooth walls. Okay, I know this is an idea that some people have not really bought into, but if you look at, but you can really tell the difference when you walk into a house and one house was smoothened out and another one wasn't actually smoothened out. Then we also bought poles, which is quite for obvious use for the workers to stand on as they're doing their work. We also got bitumen. The bitumen was for waterproofing the part of the roof and also some parts of the bathroom before we actually do the plastering. So that you see, anyway, it's something I want to discuss in a separate video about waterproofing of bathrooms. You realize that even if you have the damp-proof course of the house like really okay, you'll realize that many walls which are actually adjacent to the bathrooms actually have walls that be peeling off, walls that peel off. Okay, the paint is peeling off and things like that because the bathrooms are not waterproofed. Some people really think that by tiling the bathroom you're actually waterproofing it, but there are those little joints where the grout is, the little joints in the tiles, that is where actually water escapes from the bathroom and goes to affect the rest of the walls. Anyway, if you're Ugandan, you can really justify on that. You've been to houses and you find literally the biggest percentage of walls that are next to bathrooms are always peeling. Something you repair, then after 2 years you have to do another repair, but we had to cut that down. Okay, so the main steel door cost us about 1.5 million. Now when it comes to steel doors and windows, this is really variable. It depends on who's going to fabricate them for you. Okay, so this is not a figure that anyone should impose on you. There is someone who will do for you a door at 1 million, there's another one who will fabricate it for you at 1.2 million, 1.3 million. This is really finishing. Like I always specify, finishing is highly variable. Okay, it really depends on who's going to do for you. It depends on whether you're oriented to price or to the quality, or you're looking to strike a balance, or whatever it is. Okay, so these are not really like standard prices of things as opposed to when you're doing the shell of a house. So the steel doors and also the windows, you can see how much they cost us in on the screen there. Then also we had timber door frames. Now there are really different types of woods. Anyway, like I always say, when it comes to finishing, there is a lot of variations. You have the musambia trees, you have the mahogany trees, you have pine trees, you know. There are a lot of variations that you can choose, okay? But anyway, like I always say, for finishing, these are not prices that you can impose on you, okay? There is mahogany, and we actually did use mahogany, okay? We used a tree which they usually call the musambia tree, okay? I'm going to do a separate video on helping you to differentiate the different pros and cons of those trees or those kinds of timber when it comes to making door frames and also doing doors as well. So we had hoop iron. Hoop iron was usually for helping us sometimes to bind, sometimes binding those frames into the different courses of the wall. Okay. Then we also did some extra burnt clay bricks, burnt red bricks. Sorry, we actually didn't use clay bricks, we used red bricks. Now we use these ones for filling some voids where the windows necessarily might not fit exactly, or where we change dimensions of windows. Then there was also parts of the parapet wall where we had to do the red bricks. The reason why we used red bricks instead of the usual clay bricks is because red bricks are cheaper, and in this case, of course, they are less stronger. But in this scenario, we are not looking for strength. Okay, we're just looking for an opportunity to fill the space that we don't want. Okay. I hope that makes sense to you. You might be seeing the video around that's going to be passing on the screen. You might see some parts that were filled with those clay bricks, with those mud bricks, sorry. Okay. Then also we bought white 12mm bars. They were for completing some unfinished work from the previous phases, and also doing the kitchen with the counters, the countertops of the kitchen and things like that. We also leg sand. I think leg sand was like one of the major things. Remember, we had a sino-track before. We had a sino-track of sand that had actually been left on site. Okay, so we had to add a few trips of leg sand. That's about three trips, just to top up on that to complete the finishing. And then labor, like I always say, labor is also subjective. Really, it depends on who's going to work for you. It depends on who's going to build for you. Now, we have our own masons, we have our own artisans. Okay, so the figures that you put on the screen is the money that we've actually spent on the masons, the foremen, the porters, the artisans that actually pull off this work. Now remember, I know some people like to judge this thing in terms of percentages, but percentages might not really work when it comes to actually finishes. It really depends on how complex the design is, whether there is a lot of, can I call it politics, on the building, or whether it's just plain finishing. Okay, if you look at our building, there are quite a number of things of parts that come in and out on the building, so it needs a bit of care. That's why the labor comes to that amount. So looking at everything, I think we actually are still on budget. Remember, our budget was to spend between 150 to 170 million. Okay, so I believe that we are still in budget, because right now the total is about 118 million. So the rest of the works, I don't think it will be really that expensive. Anyway, you guys stay tuned and follow this process so you can have some strength or some confidence or some knowledge if you're planning to embark on your construction project. Okay, otherwise, thank you very much guys for watching. Thank you for enjoying, thank you for supporting, and have a blessed 2023. And I wish to see you building your own house and living the renting life.